Ako yung natutuwa kasi kaninang umaga yung inabutan ko is a topic on agriculture, the value chain of the sugar industry, and then farming, no? And then ngayong hapon, nag-umpisa kayo, sir, yung tungkol dun sa building solidarity at the grassroots. Actually, nakaka-inspire yung kanya kasi he started 2004. Ngayon ay may tracking company na ba kayo? So, ang bilis nung gestation nung business, no, yung cooperative business. And then, yung sinundan ko, si Madam Lydia, which is actually, kumbaga, kapatid ba o pinsan ng project na EVA ko, kasi this is under the umbrella of the Victo Federation of Victo National Cooperative. Teka, pati ako nahirapan ako. Victo National Cooperative Federation and Development Center. Pagagalitan ako ni Miss Reyna pag di ko nabigkas yun. Yung bago nilang CEO sa Victo. So, what I will present today or this afternoon is about health. No? So, we are migrating from moving from agriculture to services and into health. So, bago yon gusto kong tanungin, sino dito ang di pa nagkakasakit? So walang nagkakasakit. But I think health, it's high time for cooperatives to venture into health. And we have seen a number of co-ops who have successfully ventured into health. Pero hindi pa yun mainstream na practice sa co-op sa atin. Kung bibilangin natin siguro yung mga co-ops, even in Luzon, where I was also active in the co-op sector, karamihan na businesses dyan, credit Or in other words, microfinance or lending. Kung minsan nga natatalo yung word na savings supposedly kasi yan lending, savings, magkakambal, no? Pero sabi nga kanina, mas nahihilig yung mga tao sa pangungutang. Okay, so this is the EVACO project. Kanina nabanggit yung mga pillars ng Victo umbrella, no? And we hope, when we were designing this project together with Victo, we were hoping to come up with another pillar under that umbrella. So kung mayroong fund pillar, mayroong training pillar under Victo, we hope na mayroong ding health pillar, no, in the future, na strong pillar of the Victo National Network of Cooperatives. So, yun po yan. Okay, please. Check ko nga kung gumagana itong kasi pwede dito. So, kukwento ko sa inyo, I'd like to share with you, bakit ba natin kailangan pasukan yung health, no, as co-ops? And then, ano ba yung ginawa namin with Victo as a response? And then, so far, what are the challenges and gains and challenges? And then, what are the opportunities and way forward? Kung baga sa bata, itong project na to, parang infant pa siya because we started in 2011. And considering the delays, medyo talagang bata pa siya. But this early, we can share with you probably some lessons on how to venture into a health project or a health enterprise if you have a cooperative. Okay, ito yung policy context kung bakit relevant yung health program. No? Unang-una, ito bukang bibig ngayon ng gobyerno natin, yung equity, no? Social equity. And when we talk of social equity, ang una naman nating issue dyan, yung health. Kasi kahit mayaman yung tao, kung may sakit naman siya, so wala din. Mauubos din yung pera niya sa pagpapagamot. Okay, so gross world equity, universal access, these are overarching policy statements of the government, particularly the Pinoy administration. And then they have what they call as the KP or Kalusugan Pangkalahatan. Ang target nga dito, under the PhilHealth, dapat 100% coverage ng PhilHealth. So I think for us in the co-op sector, that's a good opportunity if you want to venture into co-op. I'll explain later on. And then health system strengthening, public-private partnership. Bukang bibig ito. And kung minsan yung PPP, nami-misunderstood ito kasi recently, marami nagrarally against the privatization of the National Orthopedic Center. Although dinidepensa yun ng DOH, sabi lang, hindi yun privatization, PPP yun, partnership. Pero maraming issues. naisip ko lang, nung napapanood ko sa TV yung rally sa DOH, ano kaya kung ang magte-take over ng National Orthopedic Center ay isang federasyon ng mga co-op? Ganon din kaya kalaki ang rally sa harap ng DOH? Sa palagay nyo? Pwede po, ano? Kasi kung ang magte-take over sa isang public entity ay isang kapitalista, like for example, sabihin na natin, ano ba yung malalaking, yung company ni MVP, namimili yun ng mga ospital at mga eskwelahan eh. Oh, yan. So, HMI, di ba sir? Okay. Medyo may mga agam-agam tayo kung sila magte-take over eh. Pero siguro kung ang co-op ay magte-take over, baka okay lang, no? Walang magra-rally. And then, last item, under the policy context, is the new cooperative law. Relatively new because it was passed in 2008. So, kanina naipakita yung cooperative principles, 7 principles. Last, but not the least, is concern for the community. And we know that all co-ops now, when I was managing a co-op when I was chair of a co-op in Luzon, wala pa yung 7th principle. So, hindi masyadong problema yung health, no? Although that co-op that I managed also was into health. Okay, so 7th principle, social audit. These are relevant policies for the co-op sector. Okay, ano bang status ng health sa Pilipinas? Sabi ng mga eksperto sa DOH, ang Pilipinas ay isa sa may pinakamasamang sitwasyon sa health across several countries. Dito na lang sa Southeast Asia, for example, dun sa, unahin na natin yung HIV kasi nasa Cebu po tayo. Alam po ba, ilan po ang nakakaalam sa Cebu ngayon na isa sa hotspot ang Cebu in terms of HIV? Alam ba ninyo na isang sector dito sa Cebu has an infection rate of at least 53%? Hindi call center, Luchi. It's among the injecting drug users in Cebu. It's 53%, meaning if I were injecting and Madam is injecting, one of us is surely infected. And kung partner sila, nakipag-partner sila sa iba, can you imagine the rate of infection? So mataas. But again, of course, hindi ganun kalaki nakikita natin yung problema kasi there are only about 7,000 injecting drug users in Cebu, according to DOH. No? But it's a big problem now because the IDU sector is one of the drivers of the epidemic. Exponential siya. And in Manila, the driver is among people or among men who have sex with other men. Narinig na ba ninyo yun sa co-op sector? MSM. Men who have sex with other men. And baka iniisip nyo yung mga bading lang yun. Hindi po. Pag sinabing men, kahit straight, pwede yun. Kasi maraming straight pumapatol sa gay. Pag infected yung gay, and sino nanonood ng GMA 7? So parang ganun yun, no? Parang ganun. So it's a problem. So health is a problem not only among injecting drug users but to all of us, no? Okay, life expectancy 70 years. So nung namatay yung tito ko, 70 years siya, malungkot kami lahat. Sabi ko, 70 years. So, tama lang, life expectancy. Pero mababa yan compared with other nationalities across the world, no? Infant mortality, 80 babies dying. 80,000, no? So divided that by 365 days. Ilan na mamatay na bata? Maternal mortality, 11 mothers a day. TB burden, top tayo, top 10, number 9. Pero dati tayong number 8, number 9 na tayo. So nag-improve ng konti. NCD, meaning heart attack, cancer, and so on, no? Na non-communicable diseases. It's fast rising among the causes, top causes of mortality and morbidity. It's, I think 60% of cases are due to non-communicable diseases. And again, it's HIV, no? Okay, ang issue na, well, in our organization, our main issue is on addressing health disparities and inequities, no? So, here's an example of a disparity and inequity. I will not explain the difference between the two, pero inequity is more about justice, no? Vitamins for poor women. 50% poor women ang may access as against 80% sa may kayang. So, nakikita mo na yung imbalance, no? And then, in terms of immunization, ganun din. Bakit magkaparehas? Kasi yung nanay at saka bata, magkasabayan pumupunta sa health center. Oh, that's just an example how glaring is the disparity and inequity of the healthcare system in this country. Okay, next one. In Eastern Visayas, where we decided to do a pilot project with Victo. In Eastern Visayas, it's one of the top 5 worst places to be a mother. So, yung mga nanay doon, gusto mong worst place, nasa Eastern Visayas because of the statistics. At that time, na ginagawa namin, ang statistics is 229.8. But at that time also, the country average is 162. In 2012, tumaas ang mortality, naging 200 plus ang national average. So, probably tumaas din ito in Eastern Visayas. Fertility rate, 4.3, medyo mataas ang productivity. And just to give you an idea how bad is our MMR, our maternal mortality ratio, the highest in the region, except us, is Thailand, 110, no? During this same period. So, ang layo natin, 200 plus tayo. So, ganun kalala yung ating sitwasyon para sa mga nanay. Also, when we were preparing the project proposal, teen pregnancy in the region, in Eastern Visayas, they have the second highest. Tanong ko dun sa mga kaibigan namin sa Eastern Visayas, bakit mataas dito sa Eastern Visayas? Ang sabi ng mga taga-Tacloban, high-tech na eh. Tapos pag may mga fiesta daw, baka may eyeballing. Ewan ko kung totoo yan. There's no study. Baka yung kaibigan natin from EBSU, may study. Sir, meron ba? Okay, so, of course, kung titingnan natin yung relationship ng Eastern Visayas sa Central Visayas, may migration, di ba? May movement. So, yung chances na kumalat yung HIV, may risk doon sa Eastern Visayas. Kasi magkakarugtong yung islands natin via the shipping industry. Poverty worsening, pero I don't know the latest figure, nag-improve yata yung latest na release ng NSCB. Under 5 mortality, 64 deaths. It's second to ARM at the time, no? I hope nag-improve na rin to. Wala kaming latest data eh. Hindi pa na-update to. Underweight children, 18%. So, yun yung health situation sa Eastern Visayas. These figures help us convince our funding agency to give us support for a 3-year project in Eastern Visayas. This is funded by the European Union and one NGO based in the UK in which we are affiliated with, no, as sponsor. Okay, ito yung figures sa expenditure sa hospitalization. Pag na-hospital yung mga tao, ano yung pinakamalaking expenses? Pansinin po ninyo, malaking expense sa gamot at saka diagnostics. Of course, ang malaki din isa dito ay yung professional fees na. So, karamihan ng out-of-pocket po natin, kasi hindi naman covered lahat kahit may PhilHealth ka, ay nasa medicines or drugs and then diagnostics. Ang data po dito, it's I think more than 50% out-of-pocket expenses for medicine. So, ganun kataas. Kaya yung iba, namamatay na lang, hindi na-maintain yung medicine maintenance. Maraming namamatay kasi walang pambili ng maintenance. Pang maintenance. Although marami ng mabibisang gamot, no? Napakamahal nga lang. Such that pag kinuha mo yung mahal na gamot na yon, gusto mo i-prolong yung life mo, okay naman, mabubuhay ka, no? Ang problema nga lang dyan, mauubos yung pension mo kung pensioner ka. Mababuhay mo, pero humirap din naman ang buhay mo kasi wala ka nang pambili ng ulam, puro gamot na. Kasi modern na, di ba? Magaling na ang medicine, no? Okay na. So, yung nga lang, napakamahal naman. Okay, ano ngayon ang gagawin natin? Sabi namin, we had a brainstorming with Victo National. Actually, I came here to Cebu to visit Victo. Sabi ko, interested ba kayo to venture into health? And sabi ng Victo, tamang-tama kasi mayroon silang SURE na program, SURE. Papunta sa 50 years, no? SURE, strengthening, unifying, redefining, inciting, energizing, inciting. Okay, so nandun yung sa redefining, meaning we're trying to help co-ops venture into health enterprises. Bakit enterprise? Kasi usually naman sa co-op po natin, ano lang yan parang providential services, di ba? Kanina si Sir may pinakita Pag namatay, patay na yun, no? Meron ba yung programa, Sir, sa nagkakasakit pa lang? Wala pa, no? Pwede tayong mag-usap. So, wag muna yung patay, yung nagkakasakit muna. Baka pwede tayong magkaroon ng programa sa nagkakasakit lang muna, wag muna yung patay. Although okay din, from womb to tomb, di ba? Yung sabi nga natin sa co-op Pero may gap dun sa sa healthcare So, and incidentally, yun ang mahirap gawin kasi highly regulated sector ang healthcare. Kaya mas madaling puntahan yung punerarya. Hindi masyadong regulated. Di ba, sir? Hindi masyadong regulated yung mga punerarya. Diyan yumaman si Chabit Embalmer siya dati. Sabi. Okay, so ano ba yung sitwasyon? So we have here sorry. Alam na ho natin to, mayroon tayong maraming healthcare facilities. During the campaign of Pinoy, ang battle cry ng Pinoy campaign was ayusin natin ang healthcare system kasi we have here gleaming palaces for the rich. They were referring to St. Luke's, no? Cardinal Santos, Makati Med. And dilapidated shacks for the poor. Ito yung mga healthcare facilities. At the onset of our project, we went to Carigara District Hospital at that time, 3 years ago almost. Pag pumasok ka sa Carigara District Hospital sa Leyte, para kang pumasok sa morgue. At that time, no? Pero siguro ngayon, okay na ba, sir? Carigara District? Dati, 3 years ago, kung pagpasok mo doon, akala mo morgue. Pareho pa rin. Hindi, pero sabi nila, pupuntahan daw ni Congressman Di ba? Papuntahan ni Congressman. Lagi kong binabanggit yung yung Carigara kasi na-shock ako na malala din yung hospital namin sa La Union, no? Malala din. Pero mas malala yun. Mukha siya talagang morgue. At may isang tao lang na philanthropist na tumutulong para pinturahan yung loob ng mga kwarto. Donations from the US. Now, I don't know na kung ano sasabihin ngayon ng mga nag-donate sa US nung nalaman nila yung 101 billion na missing pork barrel. No? So, yun. Yun yung status ng mga hospitals. And even up to now, our hospital in La Union, which is hindi naman pobre masyado na probinsya, we have several district hospitals. Na dengue yung pamangkin ko the other month. Pumunta ako, sabi nila, Doktora, paano yung platelet ng bata? Sabi niya, sir, weekend wala kaming pang-monitor. Kailan malalaman? Sa Monday. Di ba ang dengue monitor ilang oras lang? So sabi na, magantay ka lang sa kasi wala kaming facilities. And alam ba ninyo, napakaraming pera sa DOH? I was in a meeting and the country coordinating mechanism sa DOH 2 years ago. Nagagalit yung undersecretary sa kanyang mga directors kasi yung perang dinedepensa nila ng katakot-takot sa Kongreso, kailangan nilang ibalik kasi hindi gumalaw. And, di ba, nung last year, tumaas by 10 billion ang pera sa DOH. Ang tanong, na-move ba nila yung pera na yun? Gumalaw ba yung pera na yun? Idagdag mo na doon yung pork barrel na binibigyan ng mga congressman, di magkano pera ang umiikot sa atin. So, malaking ano yan. Malaking problema yung government sector. But in fairness to the government, mayroon silang magandang programa to upgrade the facilities, upgrade everything, no? Pero nauuna nilang ginagawa dyan, ayusin muna yung building. Ang dami nating nurses, pero walang nurses sa mga hospitals. Okay, ito naman yung business sector. Wala kang masasabi sa business sector. Maganda talaga yan. Maganda rin ang presyo. Maganda rin, high-tech yan. High-tech. Even provincial, small city hospitals, magaganda po sila. Kasi they have really invested in upgrading equipment. No? So, dati kung magpapaano ka ng puso, 2D echo lang. Ngayon yata, 4D echo na, no? Yung 4-dimensional, makikita mo na yung yung heart mo gumagalaw, pwede nang i-rotate. Kikita mo ng gano'n. Dati, ano lang eh, 2 sides lang. So, ganun na ka-high-tech ngayon. But that's, I guess, 4,000 per test. And then, ito yung vision for the project. We want to help the co-op sector develop the healthcare system. Yung tanong kanina, magsasarili ba tayo? Hindi. Kasi we cannot really afford to cover all the value chains in the health sector. Kasi meron ding value chain ng health sector. Di ba? Katulad din ng sugar industry, ng rice, ng coconut. So meron din po siyang value chain. So our aim here is to complement and work closely with government. So co-op-based healthcare system. Ito yung advocacy ng EVACO project. Okay, ano yung gitna ng advocacy? This is enhancing access. Pag sinabi po natin may access tayo, kahit ano man yung gusto nating i-access, kailangan may 4 na elements, no? The first element should be availability. Kailangan mayroon siya. Pero hindi sapat na mayroon siya, kailangan mayroong tamang number. Kasi kunyari, may antibiotics, good for 1 day lang. Yung antibiotics normally it's 7 days. So it's not adequate. So meaning availability, adequacy, acceptability, here comes in the yung quality, no? Yung expiration, yung paano siya, anong lasa niya, okay ba yan? And then affordability. And then affordability, we know that affordability is in terms of effort, in terms of money, in terms of time. So di ko ma-afford pumunta, kaya ko naman. Di ba marami sa atin may sakit na pero ayaw pa rin pumunta sa ospital. May pera siya, may gamot, quality, acceptable, pero hindi pa rin pupunta. Hindi niya ma-afford kasi busy siya. So affordability, let's keep it in our minds that it's not only about money. It's also about time and about effort. So yun po yung advocacy yung buod ng advocacy ng EVACO project. So tatlo po yung objectives. We want to improve the knowledge, attitude, skills, and behavior or practice of co-op members primarily and the community at large. And then second, of course, yung mga kasi co-op ito, sana yung mga co-op members talagang they practice health-seeking behavior. And then sana maging significant yung number of people served by the co-op in terms of healthcare. Okay, here's a diagram that we'll just attempt to show you. Ano ba yung gusto natin gawin? Ano ba yung key strategy ng EVACO project? The key strategy is to help the co-ops set up social health enterprises. And when we say social health enterprises, hindi lang po ito para kumita ng pera. Mayroon siyang curative and then mayroon siyang preventive. So mayroon po siyang health education program na kakamban. And then, in our health promotions, tinuturuan namin yung mga co-op promoters dito. And then the co-op promoters will relay yung knowledge na yun sa community. So, we have what we call as co-op health promoters among our co-op venture partners. And then, for the co-op venture partners, we help them, do the business plan, operations management, and how to sustain the health enterprise. Okay, nasaan yung project sa Eastern Visayas? We have 10 partners now. These are primary cooperatives under the Victo National Umbrella. We have one in Allen. This is by NSD, WCC, no? But it's now called Northern Samar Multipurpose Co-op. In Palapag, for those who are not familiar with the area, you have to ride a boat for, I think, 1 hour to reach the place. Oh, katubig. River ba yun o dagat? Mukhang dagat nang pumunta ako eh. River ba? So, Palapag, meron tayo doon yung Patesi, Palapag Teachers Employees Co-op. Pero open na siya ngayon, no? Hindi na lang teachers. Calbayog, Dibiatungan Multipurpose Co-op. So, yung Allen, they have a pharmacy. In Palapag, they have a pharmacy and a clinic. In Calbayog, Dibiatungan, they have clinic for mothers. Basay, they have a butika ng bayan. Abuyog, they have a pharmacy, but they're very active in health promotion because Abuyog, AFSICO, is a very big co-op, very successful. They have, I think, 18,000 ba members. So, very active yung health promotion nila. Silago, one of the oldest co-ops under the Victo umbrella. Bontoc, multipurpose co-op. Hinunangan, yung dalawang Santos, Saint Peter and Paul, Saint Bernard, San Isidro Paris, and then the Libagon Area Multipurpose Co-op in Libagon, Southern Leyte. So ito po yung mga partners namin na they took the challenge to set up a social health enterprise. At that time, nung pumasok kasi yung project, mainit ang debate sa RH. Itong project na to is maternal and family health. So sabi nila, baka naman RH ito. Magagalit si father. So, kasi marami dito Paris-based. But I appreciate yung mga board members and then the GMs na sabi na, hindi, kausap lang namin si father, maintindihan niya. Hindi naman to RH, di ba? Sabi ko, hindi. Well, depende kung paano mo i-define yung RH. Pero this is for mothers and their families. So far, okay. Ano nangyari na? We have targeted 11 social health enterprises. So we have set up already 10 no? Last year na ngayon ng project. And at the moment, yung mga kaibigan po natin nasa Tacloban, we're setting up the 11th enterprise. It's supposed to complement the others. No? So we're setting up a diagnostic center in Tacloban City. No? And we hope to service other nearby municipalities. So, well, maraming diagnostic centers sa Tacloban, pero sabi namin, ang key siguro is not to compete, no? Because it's the co-op sector, it has a captive market supposedly. I hope we can learn lesson from the co-op mart. Maganda sigurong i-case study yung co-op mart. Bakit ba nag-fail? Ang dami namang target captured market, di ba? Bakit siya nag-fail? Is it in the value chain management o baka ganun din yung pwedeng analysis natin dito sa health. Okay, so far we have reached 13,000 clients. Hindi pa patients kasi yung iba dito wala namang sakit kasi health promotion lang naman yung ibinigay. No? And then so far we have a cumulative sales of about 7.2. Mixed po yan kasi yung business model ng pharmacy mayroon siyang hindi lang gamot kundi pati yung mga hygienics. Ano ba yung hygienics? Alcohol, tissue. Kung minsan, nandun din yung gatas. And then we have trained co-op personnel to be the health promoters. Ito yung sustainability. We are trying to embed the system for healthcare dun sa mismong co-op. Conceptually, okay siya. Pero if you understand, those who are managing credit co-ops, you need a certain degree of focus. And that's one of the challenges. Ayan. So, after more than 2 years of implementing the project, ano yung challenges in venturing into social health enterprises in the context of a cooperative? Unang-una, kasi ito, partner na namin yung DOH, no? part sila ng steering committee, but still we have to go through the usual bureaucratic system. Actually, nakadelay yung pagkuha ng permit. Nahirapan kami sa CDA kasi sabi ng CDA, "Oy, health enterprise, kailangan mag-amend kayo ng Articles of Incorporation." Bakit po principle number 7, social mandate, etc. Hindi, mag-amend kayo. So nag-amend kami, matagal. So one co-op, for instance, spent 60,000 just to amend. And then, mas madugo yung pagkuha ng license to operate sa FDA. Pero ngayon, ini-streamline ng FDA yung pagkuha ng permit sa butika o sa drugstore. If you are faced in that situation and you're running a project that is time-bound, monitored by the funder, what will you do to fast-track the licensing procedure? Ano gagawin mo? Be honest daw. Yan. Yung isang challenge yun. How will you handle, the licensing process in the government bureaucracy? Example, co-op ka, gusto mo mag-put up ng gasolinahan. Kailangan mo ng katakot-takot na study dyan. Yung environmental impact, mahirap. So that's one of the key challenge of a social health enterprise. But I guess that also applies to any social enterprise. We cannot argue on the basis na para sa tao to kaya kailangan special rules kami or special practice. We are bound to follow the same practices. And we have to go through that maze of dealing with the bureaucracy. Mataas din yung startup cost kasi unlike in a business setting, private business setting, pag sinabi nung pinakamalaki ng investment, sabi niya, ito na to, kasi 51% ang investment ko, ito na to. Sa co-op, hindi, kailangan mo may proseso ng konti. You have to convince the board, for instance, na this is worth going into. So, that's at the inception ng project. Doon din sa mismong operations na, marami ding members na, I think this was also experienced by the Co-op Mart, ano ipapatronize ko? Yung grocery doon o yung... So, ganun din ito. Yung nasanay ako sa Mercury, so pupunta pa ako doon sa Co-op Butika. So, doon ba ako dito? So, kailangan mo ding i-hit agad yung critical mass kasi kung nagre-rent ka nga naman ng space kasi gusto mo doon sa bayan kasi mas accessible sa mga members, mahal doon sa bayan ang rent. Okay, number 3 challenge. Nakalimutan kong banggitan kasi highly regulated yung industry. Pag pharmacy yung tinayo mo, kailangan mo ng licensed pharmacist. You cannot start without a licensed pharmacist. Of course, pwede kang under the table, bilhin mo lang yung lisensya. And then here comes the dilemma for the social entrepreneur. Shall we do the same? Pwede bang iramin na lang yung lisensya o dahil social enterprise tayo, we stick to the rules. So, yun. So, yun. Kailangan mo ng doktor sa clinic, si doktor mahal. So, yun. Baka kailangan mag-member muna yung doktor sa co-op para may special rate siya. Okay, number 3, inadequate management attention. Ito, dilemma ng mga co-op managers. And even us in our own organizations. Kung maliit kasi yung portfolio, siyempre attention mo nandun sa malaki. So, paano mo ngayon i-integrate yung health enterprise in a co-op that operates, the main business is, sabihin natin 95% lending. Paano mo i-convince si GM na bigyan niya ng konting attention yung business na to, maliit? Kaya sinasabi nilang namin, GM, para to sa social audit ninyo. Ganun ba? O sige, papuntahin ko yung sa... So may mga ganon. You have to haggle for management time. Learning curve, dahil, of course, nasa lending ka, biglang pumunta ng health, So medyo may challenge. And then, yung equity. Nagbigay kami ng counting seed capital, but we asked the partners, in real cooperative fashion, kailangan din namin ng equity ninyo. Nung una, nahihirapan sila kasi saan nila kukunin yung equity? And then, yung iba, creative, But in our last forum in Manila, sponsored by co-sponsored by FSSI. In-invite namin yung executive director ng CDA. Sabi niya, actually, meron kayong built-in funds na pwede nyo gamitin right away dito. Wala kayong problema sa CDA. Ano yung mga yun? Ito yung CDF. Hindi CDF ng congressman, ha? Yung Community Development Fund. At saka yung more or less, partly yung optional at saka CETF. So, nung una kasi sinasabi ng mga co-op managers, co-op officers, baka sitahin kami ng CDA dyan pag ginamit namin yan. So now we have a very good explanation from CDA coming from them na, pwedeng gamitin yan, kunyari, optional fund, pwedeng invest yan sa health enterprise. Community Development Fund, gusto mo mag-outreach for health education, pwede mong gamitin yan. Hindi lang para sa members, kundi para na rin sa community at large. So marami pang ibang mga challenges, pero tingin namin ito yung 5 main challenges. Okay, so what are the opportunities and way forward? Again, yung argument natin in the co-op sector, mayroon tayong critical mass supposedly, mayroon tayong captive market. So how can we make that work for a health enterprise? Varied needs. Kung pharmacy ka lang, baka kailangan magdagdag ng ibang services. So kailangan mag-bundle ng ibang services. Pero in our advocacy, lagi namin sinasabi, ang laging ka-bundle niyan is health promotion. Sinasabi nga ni Jassy, yung aming isang manager, in-explain niya, parang contradictory kasi may preventive, may curative. Kasi pag magaling sila, hindi sila bibili ng gamot. So sabi niya, dapat ang available sa co-op, hindi lang gamot, pati rin yung ibang mga products that can promote health. So para hindi siya contradictory. Kasi we set up a diagnostic center in Baguio City. It's a private diagnostic center enterprise. Nung di namin ma-hit yung target na 5 patients a day, nagbibiruan yung board, mag-promo tayo. Ano yung promo? Magpamigay tayo ng chicharong bulaklak. May promo tayo. Kasi heart diagnostic center. So, yung sinasabi kanina na kung business sector ka, madaling paikutin pagkapera madali, di ba? Pero kung mayroon kang social mission, ano ba talaga dapat ang strategy so that you can have the 3 bottom lines at the same time in equal footing? So, yun din yung ano natin. Example pa dito sa Evaco project. Maraming gustong bumili ng gatas na para sa infant. But remember, we have a milk code. And according to the DOH guidelines, first 6 months ng bata, ng infant, dapat 100% breastfed. Nung malilit yung anak ko, di ko alam yun. Nalaman ko lang nandito na ako sa trabaho na to. Ang daming bumibili na ng mga nanay. Sabi namin dun sa mga pharmacists ng mga as much as possible, sundin natin yung milk code. So, sir, sayang yun. Sales na yun eh. Yung magkano ba isang gatas? 300 plus. Nag-mark up ka 10%, kita na yun, di ba? Malino na kita na. Sabi namin, hindi. Let's follow the milk code. So, at play is your social mandate. When you run a social health enterprise. So, growing recognition of social responsibility, baka naman pwede tayong makipag-partner sa mga private companies. As co-ops, no? Baka may special, kasi pharmaceutical companies have what they call as special pricing schemes. So baka pwede nating ma-link doon yung mga projects. Friendly political landscape, universal health access agenda. So medyo okay yan ngayon. But I was surprised, kaya kanina binanggit ko yung Facebook kay Petty. No? Ano bang libangan mo pag wala kang ginagawa? Facebook. Last week, sa Facebook, mayroong isang mataas na official ng DOH. Sa Facebook, nasa thread. Kasi di ba mainit yung issue ng bogus na NGOs. Sabi niya, bakit ang mga NGOs kailangan gumamit ng pera ng gobyerno? Kaya nga ng government sabi, and that guy is in charge of the partnership program. This guy has a definition that if you are a non-government organization, you are not supposed to use a government money. And then, unang tanong, ano ba ibig sabihin ng non-government organization? Yung bang mga co-ops kasama doon? Yung bang foundations kasama doon? Yung bang Rotary kasama doon? So, government also has this problem of definition of terms. Sabi nila, dapat kung NGO ka, non-government nakalagay, huwag kang gagamit ng government money. Sabi ko sa kanya sa Facebook, Sir, hindi yun ang ibig sabihin ng NGO. Ang ibig sabihin ng NGO, hindi siya part ng government structure. Third sector siya. Meaning, it can use any kind of funds as long as it's properly utilized, ng audited, duman sa proseso, etc. And then, in the end, sabi niya, okay, so open kami for NGOs. Partnership for NGOs. Yeah. Okay, ano, patapos na. And then, maraming best practice ang co-ops in health, malalaki. In Brazil, they have the biggest HMO co-op, yung Unimed. Unimed in Brazil, all over Brazil, it's a big country, they have Unimed. Pero hindi isa ang control ng Unimed. They are using the same brand, same system, pero autonomous sila sa bawat isa. They only have an umbrella coordinating mechanism. So that's one of the biggest health co-ops. Pero ito ay pag-aari ng mga doktor. Kasi health maintenance organization siya. Ang mas magandang model ay yung nandun sa Barcelona, which I have seen. Yung HMO, yung health insurance, co-op ng mga doktor. Yung Hospital di Barcelona, yung mismong hospital, yung real estate na hospital, is owned by the people, by the patients. So, pagpunta ng mga doktor doon, empleyado sila, tenant sila. Pero pag-aari ng ordinaryong mga mamamayan, yung hospital. And they have a hospital that looks like St. Luke's in Barcelona. So, magaling yung sistema na yun. So, they have parang may compartments. Okay, kung doktor ka, dito ba sa insurance? Kasi related sa yung practice. Ngayon, kung ikaw pasyente, dahil doon ka mag-stay sa hospital, dapat hospitality tayo mo. So parang ganon, no? Parang ganon ang ginagawa sa global best practice. Okay, this is patalastas lang. This is our organization. We were organized in 1993. And initially focused on HIV, and now we are into social health enterprise. Promotion starting in 2008. Of course, I don't know kung updated tong Victo profile. Kanina si Madam sabi niya 250 na yata to dapat. Ito yung Visayas Co-op Central Fund, but now it's PCF. It's PCF. Outdated tong aking profile. So, yun po yun. Okay, this is the signage of the project. And how do we sustain the project after 3 years? I'd like to announce that during the last annual conference and general assembly of the Victo National, the assembly decided to promote the EVACO project in all areas of Victo, no? So that means nationwide, kasi nationwide na yung Victo, hindi na lang Visayas. So the project offers services in terms of how to set up a social health enterprise. So yun po yung gagawin ng yun lang po. Maraming pong salamat. Good afternoon.